How's it going? David from Comic Book Investments. So in this video, we're going to look at 5 keys that are dropping, and yes, it is official. I've seen the biggest drop I've ever seen on this entire series. I've had ones that have come pretty high, but this is the biggest drop. I think it's like 92%. And technically it's a little higher, but I didn't want to count those sales because I couldn't verify them. But this verified 92% drop. Wow, I have never seen a drop that big. I think the highest I've ever seen is somewhere at 88, 89, somewhere in there, but never in the 90s. Whew. But in any case, before I get into this video, if you guys haven't seen, on my website, collectorscomics.com, I'm running an auction. I do this every quarter. This is our 4th one we've had so far. We have a ton of good stuff like this Journey in Mystery 83 and a 5.0 unrestored. Got a Hulk 181, 8.5. Got a couple Hulk 181s. I think we have like 3 of them. We got this 8.5. We got a signature series by Stan Lee, who drew Spider-Man flipping off the viewer, I guess. Pretty crazy. I don't know why he drew that. I think it's probably a mistake, but who knows? Anyways, got that. Also got like a unrestored. Got tons and tons and tons of stuff. Go check it out. collectorscomics.com. I'd really appreciate just even look. If you have no interest in buying anything, just look. Maybe tell someone trying to grow this thing, bootstrapping it. Okay, let's get into this video. All right, first up is G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, #1. A 9.4 is down 68% from 850 last year to 270. A 9.6 is down 72% from 1100 to 305. And a 9.8 is down from 2760 to 1125. That is down 59%. Yeah, it just continues to drop. I mean, it got the hype from the comic boom. There's also that Snake Eyes movie, G.I. Joe, and people were like, oh, they're going to make a new like G.I. Joe's franchise or something like that. I don't know. But in any case, that movie bombed. But yes, I mean, this book is very, very common. That's like a lot of people don't understand is books like this. I had at one point, I got like a short box. So I don't know, like 100 or something. It's a little thicker, so less than 100 of G.I. Joe's #1s. Literally, just a whole run. And then I had another box of G.I. Joe 2, 3, like all that kind of stuff I got a long time ago. And there's lots of people that have this kind of stuff. It's just a very common book, a lot more common than people think. Especially, it was like a little thicker of a cover, so that it helps it stay in high grade longer than as if it was just paper. So supply and demand. Once this book starts going up and people see like, oh, it went from literally a nothing book to all of a sudden worth $2,700 in a 9.6, or I mean 9.8, then people are like, oh, all right, I have a bunch of copies, send to CGC, flood the market, and it's just going to go down and down because a lot of people will either put it in auction or put a low buy now, and they're like, what do I care? I'm into this book for $1. So if it goes for $2,000 or $1,500, I don't really care. I'm still up. All right, next we got Jungle Action #6. 7.5 is down 55% from 465 to 210. An 8.5 is down 39% from 825 to 504. And a 9.2 is down 47% from 1199 to 628. This is the first appearance of Killmonger. And I think there's a lot of rumors that Michael B. Jordan would come back. I haven't seen Black Panther 2. It doesn't come out for another week. But I don't think that's the case. That's not happening. So that got... Like if you can look at the graph, it kind of goes up, and then it's like people are thinking it's going to happen. It never really did happen, and it's not going to. All right, so now we're on to the one that dropped 92%. Captain America 354, a 9.4 is down 78% from 342 last year to $75, and here we go. It's actually 93%. A 9.6 is down from 504 last year to 363. That is down 93%, not 92. A 9.8 is down 50% from 1,400 to 700, so not nearly as bad. This is the first time that John Walker becomes U.S. agent. And yes, 93%. I was mistaken. I thought it was 92. But that is crazy, crazy, crazy. That is a massive, massive drop. I mean, 7% away from 100%. And actually, that was a 95%, but there is a one sold for $854 and then another one sold for $6 something, and I couldn't verify those sales, so I was like, okay. But the one for $504 I could verify because it might have been, oh, what if it's a newsstand or something like that. I couldn't verify those two things. That's why I didn't want to put it on here. But I could verify this one as not a newsstand, direct edition, and yes, 93%. That is insane. Just insane. I mean, obviously, you know that this book that was literally worth next to nothing became super expensive because John Walker was in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and, you know, that movie went on. Now he's going to be in the Thunderbolts as, you know, U.S. agent, played by Kurt Russell's son, Wyatt Russell. But yes, so will this book go a little bit up more? 36 seems a low for 9.6. I've seen a little bit more movement on the 9.8s going up a little bit. So it's still worth more than it was 2 years ago. But yeah, these books are they're very common. That's what a lot of people don't understand. This type of book is very common and high grade. Okay, moving on. We got Thor 165. First full appearance of him or Adam Warlock. A 5.0 is down 57% from 630 to 273. A 7.5 is down 54% from 1923 to 879. A 9.0 is down 75% from 5,500 to 1375. This was actually a subscriber wrote in the comments and said, hey, what about this book? And anytime someone does that and I see it, I will throw it in my little notepad. And then when I go to do these videos, I'll check it out. Sometimes it's not really dropping. It's not really going up. There's no concrete evidence, so I don't put it on there. Or one person thought one book was going up and it was actually going down, so I put it on the dropping video instead of the going up video. So if you have a comic book out there and you want me to check it out, just put it in the comments. Anytime I do these videos, if I see it, I'll write it down. And when I do these weekly things, I'll put it in. But for this book particularly, whoever paid $5,500 for a 9.0, that's way too much. Way too much. They got on the hype of the comic boom and also the hype of like, oh, Adam Warlock, and they casted whoever they did cast. I don't remember the person's name. And then it just got massively inflated. So $5,500 for a 9.0, even if everything goes right, I do not see that book really going back to that level in 10 years. So if you paid $5,500, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you could keep it, but I don't think it's ever going to be $5,500 again, at least in the next 10 years. $1,375 for a 9.0. I think that's actually a pretty good deal. Could I see it dropping a little more? Sure, a little more. But overall, I think this is a fine book in the long term. All right, last on the list is Zelda, Legend of Zelda #1, a 9.4 down 23% from 550 to 421. A 9.6 down 29% from 895 to 639, and a 9.8 is down 55% from 2250 to $1,000. So not down as much as other comic books, 23%, 29%. That's not that big of a deal, especially when you're talking about peaks to currently where it's at. So obviously it's not going up, but it's not really going down. Obviously the 55% from 2250 to $1,000, 2250 was a bit much, but I put this on my spec list. And I still personally have a ton of copies of this, tons. I have a few for sale, but I have a ton. I have a couple 9.8s, a couple 9.6s, stuff like that. I still think it's a long shot, but if this Mario movie does well and they announce a Zelda movie or TV show or something like that, I think this will do well. And these aren't as like common as you would think. I still think it's a long shot, but a good speculation on something like this, as opposed to other things, because once again, it's not like other books where there's just, like that Captain America 354. There's tons of those out there in the wild ungraded. Just because the census says X doesn't mean it's true. It really depends on the book. Now, something like an Action #1, you're not really going to find very many out in the wild like that. But something like Captain America 354, you're going to probably find long boxes of those out there somewhere. Something like this, I don't see that many out there because Valiant just started as a company, and this was one of their first comic books they did. The Super Mario Brothers was, but this is in the vein of it. So they didn't have like massive print runs, and a lot of them didn't survive through the years. That'll be it. Have a good weekend.